The paper presents the transcript of the discussions during the first Scientonomy workshop that took place on February 25, 2023. The participants discussed and voted on several modifications concerning the Scientonomic workflow Sciento 2019-0007, Sciento 2019-0001, Sciento 2019-0002, Sciento 2019-0003, Sciento 2019-0004, Sciento 2019-0005, Sciento 2019-0006, as well as two modifications concerning the idea of scientificity as an epistemic stance Sciento 2018-0013 and the respective law of theory demarcation Sciento 2018-0014. Izzy Friesen. Documentarian and historian, primary role was recording and transcribing the community's procedural self-constitution. Contributions focus on the practical implementation and historical recording of the community's own changes. Joshua Allen. Theoretical focus, descriptive ontology and methodology. As per the provided list, Allen's known work formulates a descriptive framework for epistemic actions, distinguishing between global and local types and theorizing their availability mechanisms, e.g. the local action availability theorem. In the workshop, his comments consistently push for conceptual clarity, universality, and rigorous definitions before accepting new ontology. Marcus Alexar. Theoretical focus, descriptive historical philosophical. As an epistophyliot, his work presumably engages with the historical and philosophical analysis of scientific change, though no specific theories are advanced in this transcript. Amorali Atril. Theoretical focus, normative community structure. Argued against exclusive community membership definitions, advocating for an open, participation-based model akin to traditional sciences. This is a normative theory about how the Scientonomy community should be constituted. Jacob Barseghian. Theoretical focus, foundational descriptive and normative. Author of the core laws of scientific change, e.g. the second law, theory acceptance, the third law, method employment. In the workshop, he guides discussions on both descriptive theory, e.g. universality of stances, and normative workflow. Spencer Borey. Theoretical focus, critical analysis and normative design. Provides critical assessments of proposals, warning against ontological bloat in descriptive theory and advocating for sustainable, culturally positive normative structures for the community, e.g. newsletters over gamified ratings. Alessandra Castano. Theoretical focus, normative procedural effects. Focuses on the practical and social consequences of procedural rules, analyzing how mechanisms like ratings affect community health and newcomer inclusion. David Garcia de S. Oliveira. Theoretical focus, normative and social institutional. Focuses on the long-term sustainability, institutional legitimacy, and social dynamics of the community. Views the community's development as a case study in science in the making. Rebecca Muscant. Theoretical focus, normative procedural fairness. Raises practical questions about implementation, fairness, and equity in proposed community rules and workflows. Tessa Ng. Theoretical focus, descriptive historical sensitivity. Emphasizes the importance of historical context and cultural specificity in descriptive concepts, arguing against anachronism and for evidence-driven theory acceptance. Kai Palliter. Theoretical focus, descriptive conceptual analysis. Engages in sharpening definitions and conceptual distinctions within the descriptive ontology, such as reformulating scientificity into a more universal concept like legitimacy. Paul Patton. Theoretical focus, descriptive and normative. Known for descriptive work on scientific disciplines, e.g. theories of disciplinary delineation. In the workshop, he bridges theory and practice, identifying ripple effects in ontology and pushing for robust procedural safeguards. Gregory Rupik. Theoretical focus, descriptive hermeneutic interpretive. Questions the interpretation and application of concepts like local vs. universal, suggesting that all stances have a locally interpreted component, and focuses on the formalization of knowledge representation. Amir Sarwar. Theoretical focus, descriptive and metamethodological. Co-author of the proposed modifications on scientificity as an epistemic stance. His work argues for the inclusion of logically distinct concepts based on their explanatory utility, engaging in meta-debates about the goals of scientonomic explanation. G. Shan. Theoretical focus, normative pragmatic systems. Offers pragmatic, systems-oriented suggestions for community workflow, focusing on efficient and practical design hybrid models, scheduled compilations. Jamie Shaw. Theoretical focus, normative governance and incentives. Co-author of the foundational workflow paper. Focuses on designing practical, low-stakes governance mechanisms and incentive structures that align with existing academic norms to facilitate community progress. The Scientonomy workshop of February 25, 2023 brought together a core group of 14 listed participants, primarily graduate students and scholars from the University of Toronto, with additional representation from Leibniz University Hanover and the Federal University of Sergipe, to deliberate on 9 open suggested modifications to the scientonomic workflow and theory. The workshop's format, blending real-time discussion with pre-submitted encyclopedia comments, ensured a hybrid and documented discourse. Of the 9 modifications discussed, the community reached definitive verdicts on 8 through a voting mechanism established at the meeting itself. The collective decisions, rendered by an average of 11.5 voters per motion, reveal a community in transition, decisively implementing procedural reforms while exercising significant caution on substantive theoretical expansions. The foundational procedural change, Sciento 2019-0007, which instituted a formal voting mechanism to resolve debates, was the first and most critical test. Despite vigorous debate about the epistemic perils of deciding truth by democracy, the modification passed with overwhelming support. The vote tally of 91.7% accept 11 votes to 8.3% not accept 1 vote, based on 12 total responses, demonstrated a clear consensus for moving beyond a tacit consensus model. Interestingly, the community remained divided on whether a simple majority or a supermajority should be the standard, yet the modification's passage by either possible threshold validated the immediate need for a closure mechanism. This vote established the procedural framework for all subsequent decisions. The cluster of workflow modifications from Shaw and Barseghyan 2019 saw mixed but generally positive results. Sciento 2019-0001, clarifying that peer review evaluates pursuit worthiness not acceptability, was accepted with a strong supermajority of 83.3%, 10 votes for accept. Only 16.7%, 2 votes favored keep open, with no votes for outright rejection from the 12 respondents. This ratified existing practice and formally decoupled journal gatekeeping from communal theory acceptance. Sciento 2019-0002, mandating the publication of discussions as co-authored papers to incentivize participation, received near unanimous support, 91.7% accept 11 votes to 8.3% keep open 1 vote from 12 responses. This highlights the community's strategic use of academic capital publications to fuel its collaborative engine. Sciento 2019-0003, allowing commentators to suggest reformulations of modifications, achieved unanimous acceptance, with 100% of 11 respondents voting accept. This indicates a shared desire for flexible, iterative refinement of ideas within the discourse, rather than a rigid, multi-paper bureaucratic process for every tweak. Conversely, the incentive-based proposals met with skepticism. Scientia 2019-0004, to establish an annual book prize for encyclopedia participation, was soundly defeated, failing to reach any consensus. The vote from 11 respondents was split, 54.5% not accept 6 votes, 36.4% keep open 4 votes, and only 9.1% accept 1 vote. The community clearly favored intrinsic and reputational incentives over material or competitive ones. The proposal for commentator star ratings Scientia 2019-0005 was rejected even more decisively. With 11 responses, 72.7% 8 votes were for not accept, 27.3% 3 votes for keep open, and 0% for accept. The strong negative sentiment reflected concerns about gamification, subjectivity, and creating a discouraging environment for newcomers. Finally, Scientia 2019-0006, granting editors housekeeping rights to manage ripple effects in the encyclopedia, was accepted with a resounding 90.9% 10 votes for accept against 9.1% 1 vote for keep open from 11 respondents. This vote institutionalized essential curatorial work to maintain the consistency of the community's documented knowledge base. The most philosophically charged discussions concern theoretical modifications from 2018. For Scientia 2018-0013, which proposed adding scientificity as a distinct epistemic stance, the community chose deliberate caution. The vote from 11 respondents showed a clear majority to defer, 72.7% 8 votes for keep open versus 27.3% 3 votes for accept. No votes were cast for rejection. This statistical outcome, the highest keep open percentage for any voted upon modification, perfectly captures the workshop's conclusion. The concept was deemed important and pursuit worthy, but foundational issues of definition, universality, and ontology required more work before acceptance. The dependent modification, Scientia 2018-0014, the law of theory demarcation, was not voted on statistically, as the community unanimously agreed it presupposed the acceptance of scientificity as a stance. With its parent modification kept open, this law was also logically tabled, a decision reflecting the community's careful attention to the logical dependency of their theoretical mosaic. This procedural move, while not quantifiable in a vote tally, is a significant data point showcasing the group's methodological rigor. In summary, the statistical outcomes: 5 accepted, 2 rejected, 1 kept open, and 1 tabled paint a clear picture of the community's 2023 priorities. Reforms aimed at streamlining discourse, incentivizing participation via academic norms, and maintaining their knowledge base. Modifications 0007, 0001, 0002, 0003, 0006 passed with an average acceptance rate of 91.5%. Proposals seen as introducing extrinsic motivation or gamification 0004, 0005 were rejected by average margins of 63.6%. Most tellingly, the major theoretical expansion 0013 was passed by a 72.7% majority. The data reveals a scientific community that is pragmatically building a robust, participatory workflow while simultaneously exercising disciplined, philosophically informed restraint in evolving its core theory. The workshop successfully transitioned the community from an informal discussion model to a structured, votive system, all while preserving its commitment to rigorous, Deliberate scholarly evolution. Peer review, major strengths. The paper provides a clear theoretical contribution by integrating the study of scientific practice with the core scientonomic framework, a recognized goal for the field's development. Patton, 2020. It rigorously defines a novel taxonomy of epistemic actions, adhering to the scientonomic emphasis on precise definitions and theoretical deduction. Barseghian, 2015. Furthermore, it effectively demonstrates the utility of its proposed theorem through a well-chosen historical case study, following the standard practice of using concrete examples to validate theoretical mechanisms. Areas for improvement. The justification for the category of global epistemic actions needs strengthening, as the claim of their trans-historical availability is a significant ontological assertion that requires robust support or exemplification. The broad core definition of an epistemic action would benefit from refinement and clearer integration with the existing scientonomic ontology of norms and methods. Barseghian, 2015, Sebastian, 2016. Finally, the paper's scholarly robustness could be enhanced by directly engaging with potential criticisms, such as how its action-based framework relates to established concepts like methodology. Barseghian, 2015 and epistemic tools. Raleigh, 2021. Recommendation. This is a strong and publishable paper that represents a valuable theoretical advance. It is recommended for acceptance with minor revisions, contingent on the author addressing the points above to provide greater justification for key concepts, refine definitions, and clarify the framework's scope. References. Barseghian, H. and Lovesley, T. 2021. Question Dynamics. Scientonomy Journal, 5, 1-24. https science2journal.com index.php Scientonomy article view 37120. Hacobian, H. 2022. The Ontology of Epistemic Agents. Scientonomy Journal, 6, 79-98. https science2journal.com index.php Scientonomy article view 38692. Merkin, M. 2020. The Mechanism of Method Employment. Scientonomy Journal, 4, 1-16. https science2journal.com index.php Scientonomy article view 37221. Overgaard, N. 2020. Holism and the Changing Mosaic. Scientonomy Journal, 4, 121-136. https science2journal.com index.php Scientonomy article view 37197. Raleigh, W. 2018. The Fate of Questions After the Rejection of a Theory. Scientonomy Journal, 2, 17-32. https science2journal.com index.php Scientonomy article view 28251. Raleigh, W. 2021. Epistemic Tools and Epistemic Actions. Scientonomy Journal, 4, 45-62. https science2journal.com index.php Scientonomy article view 37195. Sebastian, Z. 2016. The Status of Norms in Scientonomy. Scientonomy Journal, 1, 1-15. https science2journal.com index.php Scientonomy article view 27147. Shaw, J. 2020. The Role of Authority in the Process of Epistemic Agent Evaluation. Scientonomy Journal, 4, 137 to 154. https sciencetojournal.com index.php Scientonomy article view 37219. Lopresto, M. 2021. An agent-based model of scientific interaction. Scientonomy Journal, 5, 77 to 91. https sciencetojournal.com index.php Scientonomy article view 37123.